Hello, and welcome to today's webinar, CAD Learning, Getting Started with the Basics. This webinar is brought to you by Applied Software, the premier software systems integrator in North America. My name is Amy Worthy, and I'm delighted to be your moderator today. Throughout our presentation, we encourage you to take advantage of this fully customizable console. By clicking on the colorful icons at the bottom of your screen, you can minimize, maximize, and resize each of these widgets throughout the presentation. Starting from left to right, you have the Help widget. This is how you receive assistance during the webinar if you need to do so. Then you have the Slides widget that contains the PowerPoint presentation for today's webinar. The media player next to the Slides widget allows you to control the volume of this webinar, and if you, during the screen share, during today's live demo, that is where you will see the actual demo, and that will enlarge and take over your screen whenever Danielle does today's live demo. After that, you have the Q&A widget. Please interact with us by typing in questions and comments. Take a moment to introduce yourself. We want to know who you are, where you're located, and anything interesting you would like to share with us. Also use this box to type in questions you have throughout the presentation, and we'll take time to answer those questions at the end of today's webinar. Then there's a link to email us if you have any questions or comments, and we can follow up with you after the webinar. After that is a Facebook widget so that you can catch up on the latest updates and like our page if you haven't already. And finally, we have the survey widget, and we will talk more about the survey in a moment. If you haven't already, follow us on social media. Just search Applied Software and connect with us to receive the latest information. Also make note that we will be recording this webinar, and it will be available to you online following the webinar, and we'll send you a link to that recording. Be sure to visit our website, ASTI.com, for more information on services and support, products and training opportunities like CAD Learning and Live Lab Learning, and more. For those questions that just can't wait, you can chat with an available representative on our website. You'll find the chat box on the bottom right side of any page of our website. If no one's online to answer your request, we'll receive your chat via email and get back to you as soon as possible. You can also find a complete schedule of upcoming events, trainings, and webinars on our website calendar. Tomorrow, we have part 2 of our AutoCAD Civil 3D series on pipe networks. That's Thursday, April 26th from 12:30 to 1:30 Eastern Time. And the following Thursday, May 3rd, we have centralized communication and boost efficiency with Bluebeam Review 2018. So join us next Thursday between 12:30 and 1:30 Eastern Time. At the conclusion of the webinar, a survey will pop up. Complete the survey to be entered into a $25 Amazon gift card giveaway. You must complete the survey to be entered into the drawing. Now you can save on Live Lab Learning courses by attending our webinars. Sign up for a Live Lab Learning course within 30 days of this webinar and save 25% on the price of the course. You must sign up within 30 days, but that doesn't mean you have to take the course within 30 days of this webinar. You'll receive a follow-up email tomorrow with a 25% off coupon, as well as a link to this webinar's recording. Visit ASTI.com/livelablearning to learn more and see upcoming courses. And now I would like to introduce today's presenter, Danielle Grindle. She is the CAD Learning Channel Sales Manager, and she's going to show you the ins and outs of CAD Learning today. Danielle?
Thank you so much, Amy. I appreciate it. And thank you, everyone, for joining today. As Amy said, I'm the Channel Sales Manager here at 4D Technologies. And before we get into the actual product, I have a quick PowerPoint presentation. And Amy, can you just confirm that's come up for you?
It has.
Okay, terrific. And then we'll go straight into the product. As Amy said, please submit your questions through the chat window, and we'll go ahead and take those questions at the end of the presentation.
So I'm looking. I'm looking at it, and it looks like we're seeing your back screen. So if you could not share your screen until you're finished with the PowerPoint, that would be best.
Okay, sorry about that.
No problem.
I am new to this presentation software, so I hope you'll all bear with me. Just a little bit about us. First of all, we are 100% Autodesk focused, so all of the titles in our library are specifically related to Autodesk applications and their use. We are an Autodesk authorized publisher. In fact, we were the first in their program. What that means is we have gone through some rigorous requirements from Autodesk regarding our content. Some of our content is posted out on the Autodesk Knowledge Network, but we're very proud of having that stamp of approval, and there are very, very few AAPs in the world, in fact. We create and own 100% of our content. That means we are very flexible in terms of how we can deliver our content, and also that it is very consistent throughout every single CAD Learning title. We have a full-time content team here at 4D Technologies. Some of the members of our team include David Cohn, who does all of our AutoCAD, Advanced Steel, AutoCAD Lite. For anyone that's ever gone out to Autodesk University, you may be familiar with David. He's been teaching and training as well as consulting on Autodesk applications since AutoCAD version 1.2. So knows the applications inside out. Most of our instructors teach at AU, the BILT conference. They're certified subject matter experts in their field and have a lot of industry experience as well. So you can feel confident that you're learning from some of the best in the industry. We do align with the Autodesk collections. So for those of you using the collections, it really does cover much of the content in those libraries or the applications. In terms of the way we address learning, we do it a bit differently than some others out in the market space. We really look at it as learning paths isn't a one-size-all type of approach. And if you've ever looked at any learning applications, they often do talk about learning paths, and a learning path is often a silo. It could be you're a beginner or you're intermediate. What we do is we give you assessments that you can take at the front end of using one of the titles in our library, and it'll go through, and based on your incorrect answers to that assessment, it will actually build you your own personalized learning plan. So you can focus on the areas that you don't know as opposed to the areas that you do and bridge those gaps you have. We also have a desktop app that provides performance support for you. The app literally launches from the Autodesk applications that you are using and presents relevant videos based on what you're doing in the application. And we'll go through that as I go through the presentation. The app also gives you both online and offline access, so great for those of you that maybe commute or travel frequently or in areas where internet access is not so great. It gives you a resource to be able to get to that content. This is a listing of the titles in our library. So as you can see, it's pretty significant, over 50 titles in the library. We also cover certification prep for the Autodesk applications that offer that. So if you are looking at going for your certified professional designation from Autodesk, we do have courses that help you to prepare for that. In terms of the content itself, bar none, nobody goes deeper or wider than we do. Because we're focused exclusively on Autodesk applications, it enables us to do that. As you can see from the slides, close to 50 titles at this point, over 50,000 videos in the library, and we go all the way from beginner through to advanced topics. So a user can come in and go through the content in an A to Z format for a particular application, or just come in and get help or refresh on a topic as needed. From a user perspective, I can't emphasize enough the importance of having a resource that's available to you when you need it, which is usually in the middle of project work. It's available to you 24/7 since it's cloud-based and web-based. And Especially for those of you that maybe you just don't have time to get out to training. It gives you a resource to go to that you can do on your own time and stay on top of the new features that Autodesk is putting out, especially now that they're subscription based. We really feel one of the most important things for you as users is having that productivity gain. And it is proven that video e-learning does result in higher retention rates, which should translate into faster production and project work. One of the things that I think is important to note is we always forget how much time might be spent when somebody needs help, how much time is wasted while you're waiting for somebody to help you or when you engage somebody else to help you with a problem. And we use a very simple example to illustrate this. In our example, we have 10 designers. They're all using Autodesk products, and what happens when someone needs help? Maybe I'm that person, and I don't know how to use the hatch function in AutoCAD. So the first thing I'm going to do is look at Amy, and I'm going to be like, Amy, hey, Amy, do you have a minute? Can you help me? Can you help me? Amy's probably helped me 3 times today because she's the office expert. And if you think about the amount of time involved there, that's 2 people now tied up, times their hourly rate, times the amount of time that it takes, and God forbid a third person comes in. And if you think about the number of times that might happen in your office, that's a real drain on your billable hours and also a real productivity drain. So we use our desktop app as the solution to that problem. Because it is a performance support tool, but really any part of the CAD learning solution can address that for you. So without any further ado, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and bring up the CAD learning. So share this one. And Amy, if you can just confirm now that we are seeing my screen.
Okay, it looks like it's trying to load. Yes, now I can see it.
Okay, terrific. And it is CAD Learning, correct?
It is.
Okay, great. So I've just brought up CAD Learning. This is our library that all of our users come to. You'd be going to ASTI's CAD Learning Portal, which is asti.cadlearning.com, and it's branded just for them. As a user, when you first log into the CAD Learning Portal, you will see the library menu and your name. Once you start viewing videos and taking assessments, your user homepage will populate based on what you're doing. So don't be concerned when you come and you just see that library menu. It's just because you haven't started using the application as yet. So just to go over that homepage, when you start viewing videos, you'll see your last 5 viewed videos here. This is my recent activity. I can very quickly just click on the video to get back to it. I also have my course completion. These are the number of lessons I've watched versus the total number of lessons available in that particular title. So in this case, it's Revit 2017. And then this is my user transcript. And my transcript is any assessments that I've started or completed. So I do a lot of presentations, so I have a lot of assessments in my transcript. You would probably just have a couple here. So I'm going to go ahead and open up my Dynamo assessment, just so you can see how that personalized learning path works. So this is an assessment I've already completed, and as soon as I come into it, into the results, I can see I got 2 out of 10 correct, which is a 20%, not so great. And then it goes through and it looks at all of the questions I answered incorrectly. And based on my incorrect answers, it's recommending videos that I should go watch. Now I could just click on these video links, or I can scroll to the bottom, and I can go ahead and create myself a playlist. And this now becomes my personal learning plan for Dynamo. So I'm going to go ahead and create that playlist. And now if I go ahead to my playlist palette right here, you can see it's added the playlist for me. So again, this is my personal learning plan just for Dynamo, just for me. I can go through the video lessons. I can open up the exercise files that we provide with every course, work along with the instructor, and then at the end of this, I have the ability to come back and assess myself again. So I could go ahead and create this assessment, and just so you can see what one looks like, I'll go ahead and open it up, answer the questions, and again, I'm guessing here, so please don't judge me by my most likely incorrect answers. And I won't go through the whole thing, but just so you can see it. If I were to complete it, at the end, it allows me to do the exact same thing. I can create a whole new playlist, go through the video lessons that it suggests, and dynamically it will create that assessment. Now, you might say, oh, I have some of the same videos that I have to watch again. Well, guess what? When the assessment's created, it could be completely different questions because it's just pulling from the database, and every lesson we do has multiple questions associated with it. So it's going to keep reinforcing those concepts for you. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this out, and let's go ahead and take a look at the library. So if I want to access any CAD Learning titles, I come to the library. I've set some preferences in my library. You can do that also. You can set the preferences by going to your username and clicking on Profile. And then you can just come in and select what you want, what version you want, and save it. I'm not going to change mine here. Or you can simply go to a course, and I'll go to one that I know isn't in my library, and I just say Add to Library. And it will go ahead and add that course to my library for me. So here it is right here. If I want to look at a full title, I simply click on the course title. I do have access to the entire library as well, but for those of you that are maybe focused on a particular area, whether it's Civil 3D or Revit, you can put those applications that are pertinent to you in your library. So let's go ahead and open up Revit. Now, when you come in, you can select the release year you're working with. I've defaulted to Revit 2018, but we have released 2019 as well. And to access that, I'd simply click on the release date. I'm going to go ahead and stay in 2018. In terms of the way the title is broken up, it's broken up into major topics, and then within every topic are the individual videos. If I want to view a video, I simply click on that video link. So I'm going to go ahead and just open up a video here. I'll find something I haven't watched yet. Our videos, for the most part, are 2 to 5 minutes in length. I'm going to just go ahead and shut the instructor off here for a moment. Our Revit instructor is Jason Boning, by the way. Jason teaches at the Built Conference, Autodesk University. He's a top-rated speaker, former BIM manager, knows the product inside and out. I have people tell me all the time how great it is because the tips and tricks are built right into the training. You'll notice there's a scrolling script at the bottom of the screen. I can click anywhere in this script, and it'll bring me to that point in the video. If I fast forward it in the video, it will also fast forward in the script. So if you know you just need one little piece of this video, you can get to it very quickly. I also can go in a full screen mode and turn on closed captioning and read along with the instructor if I prefer as well. I'm going to go ahead and turn that off for a moment. You can adjust the playback speed, so if you're a power user and you want to go a bit faster, you can turn the video up, or if you're a new user and you want to go a bit slower, you can turn the speed down on the video. I do want to point out the post-production work that's done on these videos. There's call-outs, there's highlights, there's never any doubt as to where a CAD Learning instructor is in the video whatsoever. Also, you'll notice the course is opened up over on the right-hand side of my screen. So if I did want to get to the next video or the one before, I could, or if I wanted to move along to another topic, I can do that all on the same screen. One last thing to note is the star. Anywhere in CAD Learning that you see a star is an indication that you can add to a playlist. So I have a playlist here already created. I'm just going to go ahead and drop this in. It doesn't really make sense for the title, but just so you can see that's how you would add an individual lesson. Let's go ahead back in the course for a moment. Show you a few additional things here. Every course we produce does include an overall knowledge assessment. I should say most of the courses include these assessments. Some are quite short and don't require it, and also a skills assessment. The knowledge assessment is recall-based. It's your understanding of concepts and features within the application, whereas the skills assessment is more, do you know how to drive the software? You have to open up a file within the application, perform some type of function or task before you can actually answer the multiple choice question. The skills assessment is very similar to the Autodesk certification professional exams. We do provide the files for that assessment as well as the data set that the instructor uses for the entire course. So any video lesson that uses a file, that's available to you for hands-on practice as well. A few more things with regards to the course. You can filter down within a course. So if you know what you're looking for, or you're looking to refresh on a topic or something. In this case, since I already have a playlist created, I'm going to filter down on energy settings. It immediately will filter down on that. I didn't even have to type the whole word. And I can go ahead and I can drop those videos right into a playlist. Just like before, it builds my playlist for me. Here's the one I dropped in before of just the individual video, and it creates an assessment for me. So if I am trying to learn something new, I can watch the videos, assess myself before I actually go try to do the practical application. These are shareable as well, so if you have others in your organization using CAD Learning, you can share playlists with each other as well. Last thing before we move on is you can also drop entire topics into a playlist. So let's say, for example, you were going through a new topic, trying to understand something, or you were going through an entire new course in an A to Z format. Maybe you're a new user and you're in an onboarding process or such. You can go through and you can actually drop entire topics into a playlist just by selecting it. So again, I've added all of those videos to my energy settings. If I want to create a new playlist, I simply click New Playlist, give it a name, and save it. So it's that simple. So that covers the course layout, the home page, and so forth. Again, if you wanted to go to another course, you simply click on that course in the library. So if I was a civil user, I'd just go to Civil 3D and select the version that I was looking for. I'm going to drop this down and bring up the CAD Learning desktop app. So if you bear with me for just one moment. I'm running AutoCAD 2018 today. And Amy, again, can you confirm that popped up for you on the screen?
It did.
Okay, terrific. So I have AutoCAD 2018 running on the right side of my screen, and on my left-hand side, I have the CAD Learning desktop. So the desktop app is designed to either be running in the background for the user or on another screen, so you have the whole capability of having AutoCAD on your screen. It launches when the user starts using the application. So you can see I have a CAD Learning menu here. You can download the CAD Learning desktop app right from our website, cadlearning.com/downloads. And the way it works is when I'm doing something in the application, it will actually react. So you notice over here it says AutoCAD 2018. As I move through the application, it's going to bring up video lessons relevant to what I'm doing. It literally will adapt as I move through. So I just clicked on the arc tool. It's now showing me arc. If I go to the ellipse, it will bring me back videos related to ellipse and so forth. So very simple but very elegant in terms of the way it delivers that help right at the point of need. Right? So you're in the middle of a project, you don't quite know how to do something, You can look to the video, and of course with the desktop app, if you're in an online mode, which I am right now, you can access the full CAD learning library as well. So if you don't see what you're looking for, you can still go into the actual application title and look at the video lessons there as well. All the search and so forth is available right from here. You'll also notice it's brought my playlist. It has the videos that I've looked at and so forth over for me. If I go in an offline mode, I'm only going to see that content which I've downloaded. So I just have a little bit of content here, and it's showing me that. In an online mode, it gives me everything. So again, as I mentioned when we started in the PowerPoint presentation, having a resource where if you are traveling or commuting or working in a remote area where there is no internet access, you can have it available to you. So that covers everything I had to cover today. Amy, are there any questions that have come in? Or if you do have questions, please type them into the chat and we'll be happy to address them.
There are several questions, and like Danielle said, if you have questions, please type those in now. We'll be happy to address those. And the first one, we get this a lot on this webinar. Are there any plans to include CAD MEP or SMEP in CAD learning anytime soon?
That's something we're always looking at, and in fact, we have added some of the FAB MEP into Revit. So things that are specific to Revit are available in the Revit course. Let me see. I'm just going to type in FAB, see if that brings up. So there is some MEP FAB stuff available in Revit now. Also in the 2019 as well. Any of these new lessons would be available there.
Great. All right, and the next question is, since we have transferred from CAD 1, how do we access the CAD Learning login and app add-ins? I'm pretty sure that is something that Mark Mincy from the Applied Software team would set up for you. And it is available to all customers. So we could definitely get that set up for you. Danielle, do you have anything to add to that about that question?
Yeah, it's available to any customers that do their Autodesk subscription through ASTI/CAD1.
Yes. Perfect. So we'll have someone reach out to you following the webinar and help you get that set up. And someone else has asked, is this a desktop app? Is the desktop app the same as the plugin for Revit?
So it behaves very similar. The desktop app is a later release than the plugin. It's not launching directly in the application. It's launching outside of the application and working through our API, whereas the plugin was actually installed into the AutoCAD application. So if you're using Revit 2018 or later, I highly recommend you just move to the desktop app.
All right, and I don't see any further questions. If you have any questions that you think of later on, feel free to contact us. You can reach us at events@asti.com, or you can, like I said earlier, go on our website and chat with us. So we hope you found this webinar informative and helpful to your business. Danielle, do you have anything else you'd like to add before we close this out?
No, just thank you all for joining. I really appreciate you taking the time out.
All right, great. And we appreciate you for presenting this information. In a moment, our webinar survey will pop up. Complete the survey to be entered into a $25 Amazon gift card giveaway. You must complete the survey to be entered into the drawing. It'll only take a few seconds to complete. Thanks again for joining us.